Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I've titled this video, My Sister's Keeper. And there's a story behind that. There's a reason why. I'm filming in my pantry today. Years ago, I had been visiting my sister in Indiana, and she had a little farmstead. She was a big canner, and this was long before I understood what canning was or the world of canning. I just was in my own little world and not doing that. But she was, and she had a beautiful cellar. It was awesome. I think it was over 100 years old, and original to the house, all stone. And she had shelves like this, just full of all kinds of things that she had been canning and working on for a long time. And I remember she took me down to the cellar to see what she'd been doing. And she was, to her, it was the norm. She just came, we went down into the cellar and she was picking stuff up off of the shelves to use for the day. And it was the norm. She wasn't acting like she was showing me something private or something I couldn't share with people. Like this was everyday life for her, is what I'm saying. I had no idea what I was looking at. And we went down in the cellar, and she pulled out a huge jar of some kind of stew. And I think it had a moose or elk meat in it, something like that. That was strange to me, coming, out of California, or maybe I was living in Washington at the time. Anyway, West Coast, so going back east, this was crazy. And she pulled it out and she goes, "Here's what we're having for dinner." And I think I made a face, and I was like perplexed and just, like, what? We're having some kind of weird meat in a can, says it's dated a year ago. I'm like, what? And my sister she was fire. This girl was fire. So you couldn't really cross her all the time. She would come back and bite you. And not that she was hateful like that, but she just didn't put up with that stuff. So she would just be very matter of fact. And she looked at me and she called me a bad name. And I won't repeat the bad name, but I will tell you that it started with a B and ended with an itch. And she just says, "Blank, I worked hard on this, and this is what we're having for dinner, and you're gonna eat it." And I'm a grown woman at the time. I was a grown woman, and I have this older sister. I have two older sisters, and she's the oldest of the sisters. And she, just so feisty, she brought it upstairs, and I knew I had to eat it. And I'm like, I don't have a choice. This is my sister, and I'm staying with her, and I'm miles from home, and I have to eat what she's made. And it was wonderful. It was delicious. Nothing wrong with it at all. And I shared this story with my husband. We were talking about it. I think I've told him this before, but last night I was recounting what happened. And he said, "That's the same feeling I had when you started to can." And I'm pretty sure it's a little weird when you don't come from that lifestyle. I did not have people in my background other than my oldest sister after she settled down in later in life. I didn't have grandparents, great grandparents that canned, preserved anything. I've heard stories that my great grandmother had canned before, but I mean, she was long before my time. I think I knew her as a small child, but I definitely don't have memories of anybody in my family doing that. Okay, had to pause the video. My husband called. Okay, where was I? Talking about my great grandma. She didn't, that I know of, did much preserving. So this was something that I learned later on my own, and then luckily I had YouTube to help, and books that I could order off thrift books or borrow, things like that. But it's like a brand new thing. And that's what really instigated and motivated me to make videos, was for my daughters, maybe even my sons if they're watching, and their wives. And then my granddaughters are coming up in age where I'd like for them to learn this. I really want them to know this is a lifestyle. I mean, what's that one meme that's floating around all the time, that 100 years ago we were all preppers? And it's true. My sister, she prepared for winters in Indiana were really hardcore, really cold. And there were times that she couldn't go out. She had health issues. So sometimes she couldn't drive. This food security helped her get through those times when she was ill in the summer or too cold and snowy to go out in the winter. She had her family that she was feeding and using these supplies for. So I titled this My Sister's Keeper because I look back and I wish that she had taught me. Maybe she didn't think I'd be interested. I obviously showed that I was like totally horrified about the whole idea. Didn't think it was necessary. I was uneducated about it, and I made a judgment about it because I was uneducated about it. And that's a really bad thing. I mean, if you know it all, you may as well just go plan your funeral, because we are learning until the day we die. If we've learned it all, we've got nothing else to learn. What use are we? Zero use to the world. Our lives should not be built around ourselves entirely. It should be to serve our friends, our family, and that would have been a wonderful thing, I think, if I had the chance. I mean, we were separated by several states. I didn't live nearby. We did have the internet while she was alive, so I do wish we had a way to contact her. I wish we'd taken advantage of being able to use FaceTime or emails and things and Facebook to share what she knew. So it inspired me today to make these videos. Every now and then put up a video, My Sister's Keeper, and talk about ways that we could look out for each other and teach each other. My mother, she was very good about cooking things at home from scratch. She was always that way. Our family, we didn't really do a whole lot of cereals at all. And I was really envious of the neighborhood kids who did. Sometimes she'd buy cereal now and then, just, I think, to appease us. But she was like a potential wonderful homesteader. She could have been a potentially fantastic homesteader. And I think that's ultimately what she wanted. But she didn't have a husband to support what she was wanting to do at all. This guy wasn't, my stepdad was not a support at all. And she didn't have a sister. She had a brother, and he was in his own world and life. You know, it gets past you. It like skips you. How do you learn? Well, we've got this wonderful thing called the internet. For all of its faults, we have what we could do like today and talk to each other like this and communicate and teach and learn. And I think that's exactly what I want to use this channel for. We should be looking out for each other. This isn't just for the women as sisters. This is also for my brothers in Christ too. If you're watching this, you need to support your wives and your sisters and your mothers. You've got to support what they're doing. My cat's down there chewing on a cord. Real life. Yeah, so these videos are for you too. You need to see what your wives are interested in. Understand why they're doing this. Even if they come off a little bit, I don't know, psychotic about some of the things they're doing. They're saving all this water. They're starting to put away food. You know what? There's a reason. There's a reason. It's for insecurity. It's for emergency preparedness. If they didn't love you, they wouldn't do this. They wouldn't give it a second thought. They would just go about their lives, maybe going back into the hair salon and the nail salon And not that that's a terrible thing, but it's kind of unbalanced if that's all you're doing. You have a family. It's something to think about. We've really got to be there for each other and teach, even if we seem like we've lost our ever-loving minds. You know, we know what the Bible says about that. People will mock us. Even people in the church will mock you. Like I said in the first video that I opened with, that there will be people that say, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to put my faith in Jesus and trust him. And I do too. I trust him. My faith is in the Lord. I trust that he gave me a brain to use also. He gave us brains. So we need to use what we know and share, because I feel that we'll be held accountable in the end for what we didn't do. And I don't want to be guilty of that. Of course I don't. But I also want to see other people flourish and do good and save their money and have security, have food security. I sure wish I could go back with my sister in that basement. The person that I am today. How cool. I want to see if she had tallow. I want to know what other meats was she canning? What did her jam collection look like? Where'd she get all the veg? Was she growing it all? Did she buy it bulk? How did she get her deals? I want to know. Was she a rebel canner? I don't know. I'm not for rebel canning. I don't think she was, but I mean, I want to know these things and I can't. My sister passed away, and it's been nearly 7 years now that she's been gone. I can't ask her these questions. It's over. We need to be there for each other to teach and learn. That's the point of My Sister's Keeper segments. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope that there's some skill that you've got that maybe you're sitting on, and that today will be the day you choose to share it and teach others. Teach me. I want to know what you got. Anyhow, I hope this video finds you guys well and that you're having a really great day. It's going to be a busy week over here. I've got a lot of produce that I'm processing, and it's not just my own, because this summer sucked. This summer was terrible for gardens. So, I mean, I've got a few things that I harvested from my own garden that I can preserve. But honestly, I've been checking out sales and waiting for more sales, and such as the Dollar General having all of those sweet potatoes. And I managed to get my hands, I think, on 6 bags total. And then they, of course, changed the price. It went up again quickly, double. And I went and thought, no. That sale's over. So there could be more sales coming since this is the season. But you bet I'm processing that. There's no shame in my game. If I have to buy it, I will, to just make sure that I can get through maybe a year without having to go buy those things again, or have them grow and be ready to harvest again. So my goal is that. So I'm trying. I hope my sister looks down on this and would think good thoughts. Better late than never, right? Anyhow, thanks for joining me today. Hope you have a great day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Definitely show people who are like-minded. I could definitely use the subscribers trying to grow this channel. Kind of started out not knowing what I was doing at all. But yeah, your shares, your likes, your comments, please talk to me. Those things are really important to me. And I look forward to seeing you guys again. Have a great day.